Well, hey, Gideon's Tactical family, thanks so much for coming back for another episode and joining me today as we are going to talk about knife sharpening and a particular knife sharpener. But before that, I got to just give you a little update of what's going on. I love big dumps, and I cannot lie. And no, I'm not talking about visiting the restroom. I'm talking about huge snowstorms. We are still, as a family, digging out of the epic snowstorm of 2021 last week. But prior to filming this, we had a huge, about 2 foot on average snowstorm here in the Denver metro area, which is unusual for us. And we had some snow drifts here around the house up to 3 feet. And it was a blast digging the family out and having fun and letting the kids run around on spring break and have a good time. And that's not what we're talking about, those big dumps. We're talking about sharpening systems, and particularly this worksharp precision adjust knife sharpener. Now, I've had some bench time with this, tuned up several blades, reprofiled an edge on one of my pocket knives that we're going to talk about today. So I've had a good amount of use with it to kind of get a feel for it, because I wanted to see how it kind of compares to my loved worksharp equipment that I regularly use. You know, we do so many edge tools of every single different shape and size here at the channel, and putting an edge back on those tools is very important. And for me, the worksharp field sharpener is one of my favorite sharpening systems of all time. It's what I use most of the time to tune up, fix every type of edge tool, regardless if it's a hatchet, an axe, a fixed blade, a hunting knife, or a pocket knife. This is usually what I gravitate to first. And if it's a really big job where I got a lot to do, then I'll go with one of their belt driven power, sharpeners, and that can really do a great job of not only putting a fine edge, but also reprofiling, really taking out a lot of damage. So, I mean, worksharp has been kind of my one-stop shop for years when I go to tune up, fix, and manage my edged tools. And what I appreciate about worksharp is that they're always, fine-tuning, they're always innovating. And when I saw this, they were willing to send this over to me to use, I really wanted to see what it was capable of doing. And I got to say that there are definitely some pros to it and some absolutely good aspects. And there are a few cons I need to highlight and point out to you, so you really know what you're getting with this precision sharpener, and whether or not this is what you should be pursuing if you're wanting to tune up your blades and just get better at sharpening, or if there are other options out there that would just be better suited for your needs. That's what I want to hit in this video. So let's go ahead, get to it, see what the precision adjust sharpener can do, and whether or not it's something that you want to throw on your bench to tune up your blades. So right out of the gate, I want to tell you what this cannot do. So we have a good expectation on the capabilities of this instrument. And it will not, should not, could not do a giant fixed blade like the Steel Eagle from Tops Knives. This is a big old monster 1/4 inch thick knife, and the clamping system that will hold the tool in place, your knife, is just not wide enough to handle a 1/4 inch thick spine. Just for a quick reference point, the clamping mechanism that holds it in place has this secondary V right here, and it's literally flush with that 1/4 inch spine, enabling it to not go any deeper than this very outside little tiny lip right here. And that's not enough to hold it consistently. I've tried it with a few blades to be able to do any kind of edge geometry from my experience. So most 1/4 inch thick blades are not going to be able to be held by this little clamping tool. Now that's totally okay. It says right there for pocket knives and kitchen knives. But I am happy to report, on top of kitchen knives or pocket knives, you can do a lot of either smaller belt knives for, say, hunting or camping, as well as thinner stocked larger knives, say like a K-bar fighting utility knife. I was able to easily clamp that on, and the sweep of the sharpening stone that we're about to look at was able to go the entire length of the blade. So it really just kind of depends on those larger tools, the thickness of the spine and how long it is. Going to about 6 to 7 inches would be about max that it can reach out to, but you can do that, and definitely on those compact belt knives, bushcraft knives, as long as they're under a 1/4 inch thick. And it also would not, could not, for some reason I'm in a Dr. Seuss mood, been reading them to the boys lately, do combo edges, which is kind of interesting. Usually worksharp has something for combo edges. In this design, from everything I'm reading, seeing, I don't see anything for a combo edge. So that's what it can't do. Now let's see what it can do. Well, right out of the gate, it's going to come with 4 separate pieces that you easily click together. It's super simple, not difficult. You put them all together and you're ready to rock and roll. Now, the main part is the body here. Now, it's nice that it has 4 rubberized feet to really kind of hold it in place, and it can be broken down to store a little bit easier if that's something that you need. Now, we've already kind of looked at the clamp system, and this little guy, again, just screws with this little rotation piece, open and close, so then you clamp the back spine. Now, the nice thing is, just because your blade may have a big clip or a long swedge on the top spine, that doesn't mean that it won't clamp on. It has grabbed every single tool that I own in the pocket knife arena with a swedge or some form of a clip. It is able to grab it, so that's a good thing. I know some sharpeners, they kind of struggle with that aspect to a tool, so that's a nice little feature to have. So this little guy magnetizes right into place there. And then we have this button on the back, and when you have clamped in your tool, to rotate it so you can get either side, you just depress it in, you rotate the tool, and you swing it back into place. Now, those very large pocket knives and or kitchen slash maybe you know, hunting knife, you may have to have these over the edge of a counter to rotate it when it does come time to that. It's not a huge deal, but that is something to note. And then on top of that, we have our adjustment if I could talk today, adjustment portion. This is the one great aspect to it, is that we have the little pivot screw, and we can go all the way from 30 with every single degree all the way down to 15. And you just adjust it where you want it on the bar here, and now it is set. And what I found is with multiple different sharpening times and doing that multiple times, it hasn't shifted, so it doesn't, you know, start climbing or start falling and then you lose your consistent angle. So that's a huge plus. Then we have our sharpening wand here, and what we got is a 320 coarse grit, and then we got a 600 grit, and then diamond stones, and then we have a ceramic stone as well. So we got 3 of those, so those rotate very easily, click into place, and then stay where they're supposed to stay, which is always important, again, when we're talking about precision here. Then you just magnetize this little bad boy in, and we're ready to rock and roll. Then all you got to do is do a very fine, you don't have to put a lot of pressure, stroking pattern up to the tip, and then you start over again, and you do that over and over again. There are little gaskets on this wand right here that you can adjust the sweep, if you wish, on how far, you know, if you have a much wider blade or a much narrower blade, to keep it in place so it doesn't bump back and forth, or, you know, you have too much play. And then it's a very simple technique. You just back and forth while you're walking towards the tip, and then you start over and you do that again. And there's great informational videos. I'm not going to go into every single little aspect to how you do it. You can go over the Worksharp website to see exactly techniques and how-to videos and things like that. But it's a very simple process, works fine, doesn't have any issue. And then when you're ready for the other side, you push that button, rotate the blade, and then you start working on the other side and you work it down. Now, something that I wanted to do to give the Precision Adjust a really good run for its money and a workout to see what it could do was reprofile a knife that I wasn't really happy with the edge geometry, and that's the Gerber Cedulo. Now, this is American-made S30V steel, so it's more on the higher end. It's going to definitely take a little bit of work, and it came with a pretty wide grind angle. So I wanted to bring it down to 17 degrees, where it was probably closer to 20 or even 22 degrees on each side. So adjusted it where I wanted it to be, and began to work. And one thing right out of the gate that I want to point out, this is something of a hang up with the design. I don't know if you guys can tell here on these thumb studs, I completely wore on both sides these thumb studs because they are in line just slightly with the back end of the edge. And so if a blade is being covered by the thumb studs in some way, that is an issue. You are either going to have to clamp it way down by the tip in order to remove the angle that you're going to need so that you miss the thumb stud, or you're going to have to bring it up. I had to bring it all the way back up to 20 degrees before I was missing and not contacting that thumb stud for that first little 1/4 inch of the blade. And so now this is kind of a user beater knife, so I wasn't too worried about it. But I mean, if this was a more premium blade that was more of a collector piece for me or something like that, or had some nostalgia to it, more limited edition, I would be pretty upset that it was hitting that thumb stud. And I played with it for quite a while. There was no way for me to really work around it, and it just kind of is what it was if I wanted it to be 17 degrees. And I found that to be the case with multiple knives that I tried out on this setup, if the thumb stud is in any way in line with the edge. Now, if it's backed off the edge, you know, where the thumb stud and then the edge starts, then no issue whatsoever. But it can be very tricky, and you're really going to have to work with it and play with it. And some knives may be very difficult, and you're going to be hitting that thumb stud a lot depending on the design of the tool. So that is something to consider there. But I was not happy with the edge. Didn't cut paper very well. I'd used it. It was wide and thick. So I began to really put this to work and really, you know, see what this little sharpening system could do. And I just followed the recommended procedure through, you know, the videos. I'm just like you guys. I want to learn, and, you know, I never claim to know how to operate every single item that comes to me right out of the gate. So watched a couple videos, followed the instructions, and just did a very simple, you know, pass like I've been talking about, and just did that with the coarse, then the medium, and then the fine ceramic. And really was very easy to do. There was no issues there, and it really gives you that precise angle that you're wanting, which is a good thing. So I mean, that's a really good aspect to the design, is that it's going to keep your knife steady, it's going to keep your stone steady. So when I was complete, it definitely was better than when I got it, when it came from the factory. The edge geometry had definitely improved. It seemed to be, even with the ceramic, slightly toothy, more toothy than I kind of expected, and even than what I experienced when I sharpen them on, say, like the field sharpener from Worksharp on that ceramic rod. Maybe it's because I have the leather strop and I always tune that up. That may have been part of it. So it definitely was better than I got the knife from the factory, and it definitely had a better edge geometry. But I think to get it the way that I would be really happy with, I would have needed to spend about 2 to 3 times as many passes on each coarse, medium, and fine stone to really get what I need and what I'm looking for. So just keep that in consideration. Some of that is just the leverage, you know, whereas if I was doing freehand with either the field sharpener or, again, a belt sharpener, it would be a lot quicker process, particularly when it comes to reprofiling an edge of any kind. But simple tune-ups shouldn't be an issue for you when you are just wanting to put a good edge back on a consistent, already existing grind angle. So now the moment of truth. How much does this bad boy run? Well, you might be surprised. It's going to run you about $50 on average. Now, there's plenty of places you can go check it out. I'll have many of them in the links for you below, not only for the Precision Adjust, but also other worksharp tools that exist out there. But for $50, you are getting a lot. You're getting that precision capability. But I will be honest with you guys. As I was reprofiling the Cedulo, I was thinking in my mind, I know that I could do this faster with the Worksharp guided sharpener. This is a sharpening stone system. It does have guided ramps. It does have a little rocking feature. It comes with ceramic rods for not only combo edges, but also, you know, final tune-ups. And there isn't even an upgrade kit that you can get a leather strop and an extra coarse stone on there. And it will be able to handle not only little pocket knives and your kitchenware, but it'll be able to handle giant survival knives and your hatchets and machetes, and all kinds of edge tools will be able to fit on this platform. And I just knew that I could have gotten the edge that I wanted on the Cedulo with the same amount of time with this kit that I was not able to do, and I'm going to have to go back and kind of put some more elbow grease on it with the Precision Adjust. So that's just something for me personally that I see. But I understand I've been, you know, sharpening knives consistently, almost on a weekly basis, for over 8 years, you know, doing that as a regular thing here running this channel. So I have learned how to use those tools and freehand way of sharpening over the years. Whereas I know starting out, I would have definitely preferred to have learned on the Precision Adjust because of its very precise, simple way of using and keeping that very consistent angle. That does take a little bit of learning, and there's a learning curve for things like this bad boy right over here. But that guy runs for about $50 before you upgrade to the full kit. But you can definitely get started with that $50 price point. So there's a lot that Worksharp offers in that $50 range. Not only the Precision Adjust, which for some people I think that you're going to fall in love with. For others that need a more advanced either technique and or a larger plethora of tools, Worksharp's got you covered there as well. So again, we'll have those hyperlinks for you guys in the description box below. We appreciate when if there is a design or a tool, you know, that or sharpening system that you're looking for, check out all those hyperlinks below. And that's it, guys. Hope it's been fun, entertaining, and I look forward to reading the comments, any questions that you guys have, or if there's techniques that you use or sharpening systems that you use. I'm always looking to fine-tune the system and tweak. Look forward to reading all those comments. I invite you to check out the other video popping up as well, and to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. We throw up content like this all the time, every single week, week in, week out, just having fun, learning together, and just having a blast. So until next time, stay sharp, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.